Hello again, everybody. Atak is here with this Martin Luther King Day edition of the Atak Sportz on this Monday, January 19th, 2015. Of course, we honor the man who had a dream about equal equality for all mankind. We're still fighting for that today, whether it's racial or sexual situations like, the gays and all that, getting equal rights as well as blacks and whites equally. So, see how that goes the next couple years ago. But big fan of MLK, so hope everyone's having a great day today. But right now, I know a lot of NFL fans are looking forward to, of course, the Super Bowl. Of course, yesterday was the NFC and AFC Championship games. We do know now the matchup for Super Bowl 49. And if you watched last Monday's Atak Sportz, I made my prediction of which two teams do I think were going to make the Super Bowl. Well, I was right. I was right on the money. It's the Seahawks against the Patriots. Now let's see how they got there. First things first, Seattle Seahawks took on the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game. It looked like the Packs were going to go on as they dominated over Seattle for the first half of the game. Nobody saw that coming. A lot of turnovers. Yes, there was one turnover like Richard Sherman in the first drive of the Packers drive in the first half. But then there would be another turnover against Seahawks. 4 interceptions by Russell Wilson. Thrown by Russell Wilson in the game yesterday. And a couple drop passes. That stuff helped the Packers get a 16-zip lead in the first half. Nobody would have thought that the Packers would come and dominate in Seattle. You know what I mean? It looked like Seattle because Seattle had a rough second half of the season. But had a decent second half of the season. It looked like the first half of the season was going to haunt them again, as they were losing 16-zip against the Packers. But two plays that I think really shake the momentum. First things first, the fake field goal in the third quarter. That's what kind of slowly but surely started the momentum for the Green Bay Packers to get their comeback rally from the Seahawks. Seahawks fake punked the field goal. The field kicker threw the ball for the TD, making it 17-16. But then a play that really shook up the entire game, that really changed the momentum big time. Because I think after that fake punt, Packers got the ball back after another interception. The big play that I think really shook it up was in the fourth quarter, the onside kick. After the Seahawks got it to be a 14-19 game, after the Packers going on a field goal, Packers put the Lions couldn't score on touchdowns, only scored on field goals. It could not resist the rally of the Seahawks, especially after the onside kick, the blocked onside kick, landed in the arms of the Seahawks following Bostic's arm being tipped over. And Seahawks recovered and made it a 22-19 game. But then Packers tied it, making it 22-22, going to overtime. Seahawks had the ball first. And after costly decisions by the coaching and bad play calling, and he's still wincing. And Aaron Rodgers, yes, he played his heart out. And he had a great first half. But second half, they crumbled. Ending up with a TD in the overtime for the Seattle Seahawks, punching their second ticket in a row for the Super Bowl, making it one step closer to being the first team to repeat. Since, ironically, if I am correct, New England Patriots were the last team to repeat as Super Bowl champions. That's kind of ironic that New England Patriots are going on to the Super Bowl as well, taking on the Seahawks after their shellacking of the Colts 45-7. Unlike the Packers Seahawks game, which finally had a game without a controversial call or a bad play, like the last couple of games against the Packers and all the NFC games, have been mauled by bad calls against the Lions and the divisional wildcard game against the Cowboys, the no pass call on Dez Bryant in the NFC divisional game. But finally, we had an NFC playoff game with no bullshit, no bad calls. But the NFC Championship is mauled by controversy. Brady punched his sixth ticket, 6th time as a quarterback, a record for a quarterback 6 times in the Super Bowl, but their victory could be tainted by the fact that they're being accused of deflating the balls, making it easier for Tom Brady to throw. Now, the NFL is putting out an investigation on this turn of events, and Belichick says they'll cooperate properly with the investigation. I don't know if they're going to threaten the Pats' Super Bowl spot or not, but we do know this. It is now official unless they decide to overrule, since the Pats may be charged with purposely screwing the game up by deflating the balls, making it easier. They even weighed the ball at one point, I heard, during the game. So we shall see what will come out of that. But till then, it's Pats and the Seahawks. This is a tough game to call because you got a team who had to pull a comeback in the NFC Championship game. Then you got a team who dominated the AFC game, but could be questionable because of deflated balls. I have to go with the Seahawks in this situation. Because they're going to play fair. They're not going to wig the game by deflating the balls like the Pats do. I'm a big Pats fan, but who knows if my opinion may change because of this ton of events. Because there's been some controversies against the Pats in the past, like the Tuck rule and all that shit. So there you go. We do know the two teams. We also do know the National Anthem and America the Beautiful singers. John Legend's doing America the Beautiful, and Idina Menzel will be doing the National Anthem. Hopefully no one mispronounces her name, like Adele Fazim, John Travolta incident, and hopefully she doesn't hit any bum notes like they did during New Year's Eve. So there you go, we do know them. And of course, Super Bowl teams, Pats and Seahawks, face off in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, on the 1st of February. And I predict the Seahawks. If Russell Wilson does not throw 4 interceptions again, and the defense is tough all game, and they get off to a fast start, unlike the game against the Packers, they could win. Now, on with Bellator and UFC. Both Bellator and UFC had events over the weekend. Bellator had their first event of the year on Friday on Spike TV, while UFC had a fight night last night to win Championship Sunday. Compare and contrasting, Bellator was better. More consistent card. The entire card was great Bellator, including the main event. UFC fight night, like UFC 182, the undercard sucked. Once again, sucked. Including that horrible co-main event, which was a bad decision. But the main event was the only thing that saved the entire thing, like UFC 182. But Bellator, the first event of the year, the card was consistent. The first fight between Fernando Gonzalez and Marius Zamanakis, I think, from what I remember, was a decent fight. But then the second fight was probably my favorite fight besides the main event, being Virgil Swicker against Houston Alexander. Virgil Swicker was in his hometown. He took on Houston after a bad ending to the first fight, and it was a pretty intense fight, pretty back and forth, pretty good action. I think Houston could have won it. It was very tough to score because these two guys were evenly matched and just had a great matchup, great stand-up and all that stuff. But Virgil Swicker got the victory by unanimous split decision. Meanwhile, Georgie Karakian took on the cocky Bubba Jenkins. Took him down with a guillotine choke. And he basically passed out from that great submission from Georgie. Then the main event was Patricio Pitbull taking on Daniel Strauss. And Strauss, this was the best match of the night. Great main event. It was very intense. Daniel Strauss looked like he was going to pull it out. You know, he won at least 3.5 to 4 rounds. He was just dominant over Patricio. Yes, Patricio has some big moves, but Daniel Strauss was more the aggressive. He had the takedowns and all that. He looked really good. He looked like Strauss was going to reclaim his featherweight gold. And Georgie, after his victory, would take on the winner of this matchup on a future date. But then Patricio pulled it out in the end with that surprise submission, rear naked choke in the 4th round. Couple seconds into the couple minutes, right before the round was about to end. And go on to the 5th. Patricio got the submission in. Surprise submission for Patricio. He retained his championship. What a finish. It was a great matchup. Very intense main event between Patricio and Daniel. I thought Strauss had it in the bag, but Patricio put it out, man. I'm big fans of both guys. Now on to my thoughts on last night's UFC Fight Night on Fox Sports 1 after the AFC Championship. Like I said, the overall card, the main event was the best thing of the entire card. And the first 3 fights were just bad. Or just above average. First fight, Gleason Tebow, Norman Park, nothing special. Not a lot of excitement. Some okay action, but not much excitement. Second fight was cut short because of a nasty cut as Uriah Hall beat the crap out of Warren Stallings. He got him on the ground and delivered a big punch in the face when he was on the ground. And that cut Warren Stallings' eye, and his cut was fucking nasty. It was like flapping almost. And they called it because of doctor stoppage. Then on to the co-main event, which I thought was going to be a great fight, but ended up being what I like to call a fight not to lose fight. I use an analogy sometimes during my UFC reviews. A fight not to lose fight is two guys who fight not to lose. Like the Packers fought not to lose, and they lost. You know, they didn't want to lose it, yet they lost. They should have fought to win. They should have scored more touchdowns instead of field goals. But in this case, these guys, in the fight not to lose fight, I like to call it, is when two guys just stand around and just punch and kick and do nothing, much excitement for the 3 rounds. And that's what happened between Cerrone and Benson. There was nothing exciting. There was some okay action in there, but the 3rd round was the only good round, but not much excitement. You know, it's tough to score. And Cerrone won. And people call it controversial because Benson Henderson, many people thought Benson won. I think Benson could have won. You know, he was more aggressive. It was tough to see because it was too evenly matched, and these two guys were just pussyfooting and not wanting to lose. Like I said, they were just pussyfooting, unlike the main event. And when Benson found out he lost, you should look at his face. And he wanted another fight. He wants to be like Cerrone. Cerrone took this fight on the 2 weeks' notice. And now Benson wants to do the same. He wants to get in a fight for next week's card. For this Saturday on the Gustafsson-Johnson card, which I hope is fucking better than this entire card. But at least the main event, like UFC 182, the undercard sucked, and the main event saved the entire card. And I like this. Conor McGregor, I've heard of him. You know, I've heard the news about him being the hype and all that shit, being like the next big star. He took on Dennis Seaver. I haven't seen Conor McGregor before. I've heard about what happened in Dublin and all that stuff. I've seen like bits and pieces, but this was my first time seeing him in action fully. And I am starting to like him. I'm starting to kind of believe the hype. You know, he's exciting. He's a fast motherfucker. And Seaver tried his best to fight with him, but Conor McGregor just beat the crap out of Seaver. You know, he was fast moving. You know, and his kicks and his punches were just hard-hitting and intense. And add on to the fact that this was a number one contenders fight. Because McGregor, because I've seen a lot of these number one contender fights on UFC where the guy wins and it's like, this guy deserves a title shot. But in this case, McGregor deserves a title shot against Jose Aldo, who was in the crowd. And the fight wasn't, like, it was kind of one-sided, but it was exciting, more exciting than the rest of the fucking night. And McGregor delivered the TKO victory over Dennis Seaver in the 2nd round. And most memorable was when after he took him down, he jumped the cage, got into the crowd, got into Aldo's face. Because he knew he was the next number contender. And being in Boston, in Irish Pride City, and the fact they just saw the Pats win the AFC Championship, it was more intense venue. It was more intense when McGregor won. And they were on McGregor's side and all that. And it showed the crowd and all that. So McGregor will get the next shot against Aldo. And that main event, like I said, was more exciting than the entire card combined. I hope that the next event on Fox on Saturday is better than, like, the entire card's consistent. I like a consistent card. And that's what I've been seeing in UFC lately. The cards have been inconsistent. Lack of that, lack of excitement. You know, I've been saying in all my reviews for UFC is that I've seen some great action, but not much excitement. So we'll see how UFC does on Saturday. With Bellator not being on this week. Bellator's not weekly, it's monthly. They got 2 events in February coming up. We'll see what happens there. Now, with WWE Raw preview tonight, I am making this tech line early because if you haven't noticed, I'm wearing my DJ Tech Attack shirt. I got a gig tonight at won't be a basketball game tonight because they had school for some reason. Usually they had no school in MLK, but apparently they had school today. And a lot of districts didn't have school. It's not my topic to talk about racism and all that stuff. It's not my topic. That's for another day, another video. But I got a basketball game to DJ tonight, so I'll be missing Raw live. I won't make a review, but I'm going to watch it on DVR. But I'm doing a preview anyway. The last Raw before Royal Rumble, I stepped that game up when it comes to adding new people to the Rumble and adding new matches. And that's one of the questions. In my top 5 questions that must be answered tonight on Monday Night Raw. Question number 4. Will Ziggler, Ryback, and Eric Rowan be rehired tonight? Now, of course, they're still not rehired. Maybe they'll be rehired during the Rumble match itself. Of course, John Cena didn't have a chance to get their jobs back when he battled Seth Rollins last week in a lumberjack match. Kind of one-sided because it was all authority-based villains being the Lumberjacks, with Big Show being a big factor in causing Sting in the match. So why back Warren and Ziggler ain't rehired yet? Hopefully they get rehired tonight or next week at the Rumble. So we shall see what happens there. Question number 3. We'll go down in the reunion night tonight. We know that Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Ric Flair, and Shawn Michaels will be on Raw tonight. Now, Kevin Nash was originally supposed to show up, but he got suspended after his Christmas Eve arrest. But he got reinstated, and he will be on Raw tonight for a double reunion, an NWO and Click reunion. Because X-Pac is going to be there too, along with Jimmy Hart, Billy Gunn, and Juan Simmons, all being announced for this. And Ric Flair too, who's very upset the Colts lost because Sergio Brown imitated Ric Flair. He did a good job, by the way. Anyway, see what goes down with that Raw reunion. And question number 2. We'll go down between Cena, Lesnar, and Seth Rollins. A triple threat main event will take place this Sunday. We had the contract signing last week with Seth Rollins standing tall, could have stopping both Cena and Lesnar at the contract signing. We'll see if Lesnar shows up on Raw tonight to get revenge on Rollins. Same with Cena. And see how they hype up the main event. And question number 1. Will any new matches and new participants be added to the Royal Rumble? We only know 3 matches thus far. The match itself, triple threat main event, and tag team titles, Usos against Miz and Mizdow getting a rematch. Since I don't think the Ascension are ready yet because of their bad booking. Making them look like they're better than LOD and taking on these jobbers. Let's see what happens with them tonight, though. In Royal Rumble-wise, we have Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Rusev, Bray Wyatt, Bad News Barrett, Dean Ambrose, Stardust, Goldust, Big Show King, Joseph Gabriel, Fandango, and Los Matadores being involved in the Rumble match itself. So see if any new people get added, and of course new matches. On that tonight, on the last one before WrestleMania, the World Tour WrestleMania begins at the Rumble, and the last one before the Rumble is tonight at 8, 7 Central on USA Network. Like I said, I will not be making a review tonight. Raw tonight because I'm going to be watching it. I don't like making a review for things I don't watch live. If I watch it on DVR, I don't make a review. That's why I haven't made any TNA reviews lately. Because I don't watch TNA live. I watch it on DVR. So, but I will be making a Royal Rumble review on Sunday. I know that. So, there you go with that. Thank you very much for watching this very lengthy Atak Sports. That mind, y'all been attacked by the sports news from Zach. Thank you very much. See you later.